you guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we will be recreating this look using the Glamlite Paint Palette. I got this in this week and I was so excited to use it. And this palette is very pigmented, like I already love it. But we're gonna jump right into it. And hopefully I don't gotta frame too much, cause yeah. So what I do is I always base my lids with concealer. I use either the Juvia's Place, Too Faced, typically whatever concealer I'm using on my brows that day, that's what kind I use on my lids. But today is gonna be the Juvia's Place, and I use this one quite frequently. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna pat it on your lid. And I'm looking off to a mirror over here on the side so that I can actually see my lid. And then what I do is I go in with a damp sponge to kind of help with the possibility of creasing. And as you can see, it's pretty smooth. And then what we're going to do is start going in with these colors. The first color I use out of the palette is Royal Blue. And sometimes I'll go back over these colors several times because throughout the process they tend to either get brushed off from the blending and whatnot. So I'll try to make sure that these colors are as pigmented as possible. And I use a different brush for each color because I have so many brushes. The next color we're going to use is green. It's exactly what it's called in the palette, green. Most of my brushes are from Morphe. I love the brushes. And I try to get just about every collab that they come out with. Like I'm pretty sure this one is from the James Charles brush kit. The next color we're going to do is yellow. That's not yellow, that is definitely orange. And this, with the yellow, don't fight too hard with it. Like, it'll go on, but it may not be as pigmented as the other colors. I typically just like to get it to where it's at least able to be seen, because yellow is such a light color. I have like a powder that I could put on this, but it's from a different brand, and today I just wanted to stick with this one palette. And I'll go back in at the end and do my blend and you guys will see. I'm thinking for the most part, when I'm doing looks like this, I'll continue to do one eye off camera so that the videos aren't extremely long. Nobody wants to sit and watch somebody do their makeup for an hour. I know I don't. I get really all over the place and fish-brained and get into all other kinds of things if the video is entirely too long. And I have to keep replaying it because I don't miss something and have to go back over it, especially when I'm trying to recreate it. And this is a recreated look. I got this from Shelly off of Instagram. I'm gonna put her Instagram under this picture, and I'm also gonna tag my makeup Instagram under this picture because I'll be posting this look on my page. The next color we're going in with is orange, as you guys can see. And I typically just try to get these patted on, and then I'll go back in and kind of play with them to get them to my liking. Next, we're going to do red. And I'm still kind of debating on what kind of foundation I'm going to use for this look. Because I have a few that I still need to try that are brand new, but I don't know. When I get a foundation and I like it, I tend to not want to use the other ones that I done bought. And so they'll just sit. But so far my favorite one that I love to use, and it's a drugstore foundation, is the Revlon Photo Ready, but they're pulling that one off the shelves. Like, I've been able to get a lot of them on sale at the PX because I'm a soldier, so I work on base. So every time I go in there and I see it, I get a new one. The next color I'm going to go in it with is fuchsia, because I feel like burgundy was too dark, especially with me putting purple on my lid as well. Y'all can see all these rigid lines and whatnot, but like I said, in the end I'll go back in and work on blending these colors together. Right now we're just wanting to pack these colors on the lid. And then I'm going to go in with purple. I heavily debated on putting a white liner on this, but I didn't want it to be too much going on my lid. So I ended up just leaving it as is. And as you can see, I'm starting to go into a circular motion to kind of blend this purple into the pink, because we're starting to get to the end and we don't want it to have a harsh line. Like you can see, this is really blended out over here really well. And then we're going to go back into the blue, because we put a little bit of blue and green on the end to kind of reiterate those colors. And I don't even take this all the way down. I just kind of put this up closer to like the brow bone. And we're also going to go back into the green. These colors are really pigmented. And typically what I do is I'll blend these in with the actual brushes that I use, but to blend this part in and like this part, I'll go in with a clean brush to kind of help soften those lines up on the outsides. And I'm just going back in and blending these colors together on the outside, and I'm going to work my way in, and you'll see me go back and forth from the previous brushes, because I may see something that I don't like, or it may not be to my liking. So I just kind of play with it until I get it to where I want it. And if you need to, you can dip it in the shadow again. To kind of help you blend it with that color. The biggest part about this is blending. Like, I typically hate blending, because with some colors they don't blend as well as other colors do, so you have to keep at them for a while to get them pretty blended. And all I'm doing is just kind of going back into these colors and kind of merging them into the colors next to them. This red isn't the best in this palette to me. I don't know, maybe I'm not getting enough on the brush, but I'm not very fond of this red. Like, this isn't a color I would use as a prime color on my lid. And as you can see, they are slowly blending together. And I just kind of go from one side to the other, because you want both sides to blend evenly. Like, you want to be able to tell each color, but you also don't want to be able to tell where they begin at either. With some of these colors, it'll make a whole new color. Like when I put that green and that blue together, it made almost a purple, it looks like. I don't really like messing with this yellow too much because it knocked the actual pigment I do got on my lid off. I don't know if y'all can see how the fallout from this green. And I just typically blow on my brushes to get some of that excess off so it's not falling all down on my face. Granted, I haven't done my actual full face yet. I'll do that on camera as well, but that's one less thing I have to worry about cleaning up off my face. Because when the products have a lot of fallout, you will get it on your cheeks and whatnot. I'm going to go back in with the yellow because I kind of went over too far with this green. And I just kind of, with that yellow or even colors that are lighter, you don't want to go in circular motions with them. I just kind of pat them on and it helps with the vibrancy of the color. So that's why you'll see me patting that yellow or colors that like this orange that don't really show up very well. But darker colors, you don't tend to have to do that. Now we're going to go back in with our blue. Kind of blend this blue and this green together. And now we're going to take this brush. And I actually ended up dipping this in my Morphe palette. This is the Morphe 39 Alpha palette to kind of help blend this here. Like, I'm going to take this and blend these colors like this up top. But to kind of help merge that together, I ended up putting like a brown that was closer to my complexion up here. I don't know, it just wasn't really sitting with me well to just leave that as is, especially with me highlighting my brow bone. And I just go in with this color here. And that color is Evolve. No, Transitional. I don't take much of it because you don't want too much of that brown on here. And ta-da! And then what I do is I go in with the Morphe M507 brush. I need to clean my brushes. And I use the color white from the Glamlite Paint Palette. And I put this on my brow bone and my inner corner. This has like a gold tint to it when you're up close to it. It's like a pearl gold color. Let's see if y'all will be able to see this on camera. See that? It's a really pretty color. I could take this by itself. I don't know, like one of those single eyeshadow palettes. I'm gonna do the brow bone. And I'll go back in with my blending brush that I just used and kind of blend this out some, because you don't want this to leave a harsh line either. And then the final step that I do for my eyes is I put my lashes on, and I'm sorry that I can't even tell you guys what lash this is because it's in my eyelash holder, and I actually took these out the pack, so I'm pretty sure they're probably a drugstore brand, and I'm pretty sure these are probably from the Walmart Kiss collection. I really like that collection. It's inexpensive. And they're really lightweight. I could actually, still thinking about which foundation I want to use. I could actually use my Juvia's Place. I'm gonna sit this down, let it dry. So video cut off. But I sat the lash down to let it get tacky. You don't wanna allow it to dry too much. But you also don't want to put it on your face while it's extremely wet, because it'll mess up your eyeshadows and it won't stick like it needs to. This is the Benefit, the Pore Professional. It's like a pore. I put this on my nose mainly because my pores are like huge on my nose and like the area right outside of my nose. And here y'all got tips on how to shrink pores. Leave them in the comment section. That would be amazing. Like this, one of the areas I'm extremely self-conscious about when it comes to taking pictures after I do my makeup. And then I'm gonna go in with this, sorry for all the noise, this e.l.f. Poreless Face Primer. Make sure you prime your face. I'm gonna get this on my top. So I just kind of take a little bit of dots and rub it in. And I did my brows off camera for this tutorial because I plan to actually do a brow tutorial for you guys. So that's why I did them off camera. That'll be a tutorial of its own. We're gonna use, I actually like this Wet n Wild foundation. I think we're gonna use this one. so many foundations, y'all. It don't make no sense. Yeah, we'll go with this one. And this is how this stick looks. This is really expensive at Walmart as well. And it's probably I typically take this and I mix it, I think. I'm gonna mix some of my Juvia's Place foundation. I am notorious for mixing foundations because I don't go outside like that, so some of them are extremely light and some of them are too dark from where I might have been darker when I got the foundation and none just got pale because I've been inside so much because of this COVID stuff. And some of these foundations, they actually oxidize once you put them on, so they may be appear to be too light at first, but once you put them on, they oxidize and then they look just fine. This seems like it's entirely too much foundation on my face. And don't forget your neck. As you can see, for the most part, this foundation blends in really well with my neck. And when you go to get your match with foundation, I'm gonna take this out. You don't wanna go off of your actual face. You wanna go off of your neck. If anybody tries to go off the shade of your face, that this one is entirely too light. But if anybody tries to go off the color of your face, they're doing it wrong. Like entirely wrong. Because now what's gonna happen is you're gonna have to put a whole crap ton of foundation on your neck to get it to blend with your face so you ain't looking crazy. And I think that's one of my biggest pet peeves is to see women with their makeup done. And I'm not too worried about this top. I'm gonna highlight and contour, so it's gonna get dark up there anyways. But they do their full face and they don't do their neck, and you can tell the difference. So next what we're gonna do is go in and contour, and I'm using my kid got a hold of this and ate it, but I'm using the Zambia shade Zambia in the Juvia's Face concealer. I went blank for a second. I'm actually gonna go back in with my beauty sponge, my beauty blender, and tap this foundation out. And I'm gonna put some setting spray on too. It helps the foundation hold a lot longer. Granted, I'm only doing this and I'm gonna take it off so I can get into bed because I gotta go to work in the morning. I think next time I'll play some music for when I have my quiet moments because I'm not that great at editing yet. Or better yet, at all. And I would hate for y'all to be sitting there doing my quiet moments. Just looking. And I try to do this stuff based off of videos I've watched on YouTube, and I know how I get when I watch YouTube videos. I'll fast forward somebody quick. Now we're gonna highlight and contour. I think one day I'm gonna do my face cleaning routine after I take this off as well. That is extremely important to help so that you don't get breakouts from the makeup in your pores. And this is the same concealer I used on my eyelid in the shade 13 with Juvia's Place. And I actually, because this is so close to my complexion, I like to go in with this e.l.f. concealer that I got. That's extremely light, as you can see, to kind of help lighten up under my under eyes. I don't put much under there because I don't want them too bright, but yeah. And then I just go in and with my beauty sponge for the highlighting portion, and I just pat it in. And when you go all the way out like this, you don't want to make it so obvious that if it's too white, you'll see a line going from here all the way to here. So I typically don't mind if it's a little brighter under my under eye, but going out this way, I like for it to kind of blend in more with my foundation. And then I go in with the brush I used for my foundation to actually blend out my contouring, because this shade is so dark. And it kind of helps it not be as dark. Like, it's still noticeable, but it's not as dark as it was. And that's typically the goal with this. Snatch them cheeks, ladies. Up to the brow bone. There's so much I can say about my brows, or people's brows in general, but I'm gonna leave that for my actual brow tutorial. Because these people be putting their brows too close. Entirely too close. Can you see? That's why I wasn't actually standing up there, because I knew I was gonna contour my big old forehead. Okay, now what we're gonna do is go in with some setting powder. I don't set my whole face. I don't like to look chalky, so I only put this on certain areas, i.e. under my eyes. Just dip the sponge. This is the Airspun loose face powder, and I get this from Walmart, but I think I've seen it to where you can get it from like the Walgreens and stuff too, your local Walgreens. And I take this side of the sponge and dip it as well to do this part of my face to kind of help cut that cheekbone. And make my face look slimmer. Getting baby weight off for me has been the hardest thing. Like, my face isn't extremely fat, but it's not what I'm used to either. And I don't leave this on very long. I'm gonna go in and bronze some with my Wet n Wild bronzer. Just the video keep cutting off because I'm out of space on my iPad. And my phone is raggedy. Like, I need to get my other phone back, my XS Max. I'm using my 7 right now because I broke my actual phone. So I ended up having to re-glue this lash because I forgot it was down there and it dried. So we're gonna put this on. And then I'm gonna highlight and put some gloss on, and that's it. Like, I'm done. And I brushed the stuff off. I'll probably bronze off camera as well. But to see actual pictures of this look, you guys can, this is still too wet. You guys can go to my actual makeup Instagram, which I'm gonna tag below. And you can see the look, the finished look. Should be doing this with a smaller brush. Bronzing time. Some people use entirely too much of this. This bronzer, it don't take much. Whole face be glistening. And for my highlights, I'm going to be using the Beauty Creations Cali Glow Palette. And I actually got this in one of my mystery subscription boxes from them. And I've been holding off on ordering from them because they still owe me some eyebrow stuff that I ordered months ago. So I'm going to go in with the color Manhattan Beach. I love gold highlighters. Most of my highlighters are gold. I got a white one from, it looks white to me. That was part of one of the Wet n Wild collabs. And I don't really know how to feel about it. Like, I just feel like my cheeks look white to me. Ooh. And I'm gonna put it on my nose. Get out. Upper lip. I do this every time when I go to wipe all this makeup off my lip before I put my gloss on. It wipes it away. And now we're gonna try to put this lash on again. Y'all, I be struggling with my lashes. Ooh, sometimes they go on so easy, but other times I be over here just ready to wipe the whole look away. Because I have such a hard time with my lashes on my inner corner. Like, look at this. I'm gonna have to do this off camera because it dried too fast again. So yeah, this is the look with the other lash on. And yeah, you can go see the completed look at my Instagram at Key Loves Makeup 94, I think. I'll have to pin it below. Like, I'm still trying to get used to all these different Instagram pages I got. But thanks for tuning in, you guys, and see you guys soon.